So this banged on Twitter, of course. Bill Maher, once again, positioning himself as like eventually leaving the left the Democrat Party from Bill Maher.
And finally, new rule, Donald Trump has told 1 trillion lies, but when he says the Democratic Socialists of America are actually communist, that's not one of them. And it's not hard to prove it, just by quoting the DSA and their candidates. It gives me no pleasure to have to do this. I'd much rather keep going the good vibes from...
This is so good. For all the DSA cadres in here, for all the DSA folks in here, take one thing from me, okay? What do I always say? Whenever people ask me this, I always say, look, I don't self-describe as a communist, but I have no issue with the moniker. This is your opportunity to also do the same. And if you're a communist, even better. But if you're not, and you're like worried, oh no, they're calling us commies, they're calling us communists. They call everybody communist. Okay? The Republicans call everybody communist. They call Nancy Pelosi a communist. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It's no longer the Cold War. Okay? The dynamic is changing a lot. So this is your moment, your opportunity to not back down from these sorts of statements. Do not fall for it. Double down. Double down. Be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? That's a decent end goal. I think so.
My summer vacation. I had an awesome one, by the way. I totally got a girlfriend at Bible camp. However, right before we left, Vice President J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation...
Oh, my God. Oh, my vote is in play. Well, what will we do without Bill Maher? Oh, no. For every Bill Maher vote we lose, we will gain 1 million, okay? Bill Maher and his attitude, and I mean this sincerely, like Bill Maher and his attitude and the way he carries himself is exactly what is wrong with the way people perceive the National Democratic Party, okay? 1,000,000%. Smug, entitled, elitist, know-it-all arrogance. It is so repulsive. Bill Maher is the poster boy for the Democratic Party's failures thus far. I personally welcome his hatred. I personally welcome his exit from the Democratic Party. Think about it. If you were thinking about not just the Democrats of the old days, right? But if you were thinking about this party, this national party as a brand, as a vessel for change, okay? Who do you think is better suited to be the face of the party? Zohran Mamdani or Bill Maher? I think we know. I think we have an answer for that. What would be a better party overall? What would be a better party overall if the Democrats leaned into the Democratic Socialists of America or leaned into Bill Maher? Yeah, with his nauseating smugness.
Oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play. And here's why. Because not a week goes by where I don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that...
Like, look at these faces. These faces are awesome. These are incredible people. They're all young. They're vibrant. There's so much dynamism on our side. It is so crazy. Of course, this asshole who's wrong all the time and a smug, conservative, reactionary piece of shit is going to despise where the base has moved and where the excitement really is in American politics right now for the first time in a very long time.
Face opens its mouth, the Communist Manifesto or some other crazy shit comes out. Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism.
I mean, that is literally, yeah. Dude, this is so funny because he's like, wow, guys, let me tell you how shocking this is. These socialists are socialists. Yeah, no shit, you idiot. What are you talking about? Wow. Guys, hold on. I've learned something very fascinating about this Democratic Socialists of America movement. They really like this Karl Marx guy. What? No. Are you serious? What are you, crazy? What? What a revelation. What? What's next, dude?
Not to leave any doubt, New York Mayor Mamdani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying.
No. You mean to tell me Zohran Mamdani is a socialist? What? Guys. I'm panicking. This is not all right. This is not all right that the guy who calls himself a democratic socialist, who has found his organizing home in the Democratic Socialists of America, might be a socialist.
Trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hasan thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history.
First of all, he's going to say the USSR, which is a bastardization of my quote regardless, but it doesn't matter. And then he's going to say China, which has not fallen at all, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you've looked outside at all.
The Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China. Mamdani's aide, his top aide.
Yeah. So, and then he's gonna go into some of the DSA folks in New York City. But yeah, again, nothing here is offensive. The fall of the USSR was one of the great catastrophes of the 20th century. Mao Zedong is one of the great leaders of this world. Both are true. Both are objectively true statements. Okay. Also, Maoist China never fell. I don't know what he's talking about. So much of this commentary unironically revolves around just refusing to entertain any sort of historical facts, just being smug about your lack of knowledge. Okay? I hate this so much. Just read a book, please. I beg of you, please. And hopefully it's not the Gulag Archipelago. Okay? It's so frustrating because even conservative thinkers of the past, right? Even conservative historians of the past would agree with both of these assessments. Okay? You don't have to like Mao Zedong. You don't have to like the USSR, the ideological commitment to communism or socialism that the USSR demonstrated, to agree with both of these statements. As a matter of fact, there's one guy who has stated this is to agree with both of these statements. As a matter of fact, there's one guy who has stated this as well, and he's certainly no communist. His name is Vladimir Putin. Okay? Saying the fall of the USSR was one of the great catastrophes of the 20th century is an objectively correct assessment. Okay? That's it. You don't have to like the USSR to feel that way. The posture that it did not lead to so much death and destruction in Russia, in the Soviet bloc, is silly. It's just a historical fact. Child prostitution, diseases of despair, life expectancy plummet, increasing of children, increasing from the Eastern Bloc countries. Yeah, I am not a Maoist. I know people get mad at me for it. I'm not. But it is objectively true that Mao Zedong and his contributions to global affairs, to history, is plenty. He is a great man of history. Our greatest foreign adversary now is the People's Republic of China. Okay? There would be no People's Republic of China without Mao Zedong. There it is. That's proof in the pudding. This doesn't mean that you subscribe to everything that took place in the assessment of Mao Zedong. Mine is not dissimilar to that classic trope that I deploy every now and then that I paraphrase and mess up. What was it? If Mao Zedong had passed away in 1960, he would be regarded as one of the greatest minds of all time. I'm trying to find the quote because I want to give it to you correctly. Oh yeah, here it is. Had Mao died in 1956, his achievements would have been immortal. Had he died in 1966, he would still have been a great man, but flawed. But he died in 1976. Alas, what can one say? Chen Yun, a leading Chinese Communist Party official under Mao and Deng Xiaoping. This is a fair assessment of, Mao's contributions in general. This is also closer to the contemporary Chinese assessment as well. It sometimes changes with the attitudes, with the cultural attitudes, with the political modes of governance, where, sometimes they lean heavily into Mao. It's not slanderous by any means. Okay? There were many failures within the Great Leap Forward attempts that led to crises, many deaths, many more deaths than like many excess fatalities. Cultural revolution, obviously, as well, especially led to many failures as well, many setbacks. But ultimately, the reason why 1.4 billion Chinese people do not have the same assessment of Mao Zedong as do Americans is for one reason and one reason only. It's because without Mao, there is no People's Republic of China. You don't have to like modern China, okay? You don't have to like the Communist Party of China to learn important lessons from Chinese history, to learn important lessons from what they're doing that we could apply here, adjusted to our own material conditions. And you certainly don't have to like the People's Republic of China to recognize that Mao's contributions to the world was plenty, okay? Hasan, stop simping for private property just for 1 second, please.
China. Mandami's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class.
Beast mode. I love her so much. One of the things about Zoran is that the people surrounding him oftentimes are so much cooler than he is. But that's also part of the reason why I really respect what he's doing. She's awesome.
What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier,
Bro can't say a single fucking name right, dude. God, you are such an old racist baboon. I swear to God. Darlisia Shavala, Zorab Mabdabu, and Darlisia Shabubu. Like, what the fuck, man? Is Daria Liza.
Reports seizing all properties from landlords and said seize the means of production. Mandami has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to...
Wow. Guys, again, first with the Karl Marx quote, I was a little confused. Okay? First with the Karl Marx quote, I was like, well, that's making me a little uncomfortable. But now they're saying the end goal is to seize the means of production. Guys, these socialists sound quite a bit like socialists, and I'm beginning to not like what I'm hearing. Really messed up. Really messed up that they're saying socialist things.
Seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism. That's communism, which we tried, and it doesn't work.
We tried. We tried communism, and it doesn't work. When did we try communism? Everybody knows communism doesn't work. Bitch, we live under capitalism, okay? And the reason why, despite years and years of propaganda and successful initiatives to completely thwart and destroy the socialist movement in this goddamn country, people are finding themselves more sympathetic to this ideology once again at the heart of empire, at the heart of capitalism in the United States of America, is because capitalism is fucking failing. It's not because there are incredible spokespersons for communism or socialism in this country. It's not because of me, you know. It's not because of others. It's not because of Zoran Mamdani either, right? It's because people are arriving at their own recognition that capitalism has failed for them and it's getting worse, okay? That's it. That's it. We can only steer people in the right direction to the best of our ability. We can only show them that there is an alternative out there. But ultimately, without those contradictions, without people recognizing that they are struggling for one reason and one reason only, and that reason is capitalism. It's not trans people. It's not undocumented migrants. It's not black people, brown people, but it is the current design of the system. Without people recognizing that they have that pain, without people recognizing why they have that pain, this wouldn't work. If capitalism was unbelievably successful, people would probably agree with you. But capitalism has been unbelievably successful for you. So, of course, you maintain this position. But the masses do not have a $100 million contract from HBO to smugly speak about how everything is actually fine and we should be more ruthless to marginalized communities on a nightly basis. People don't have the same cushy gig that you do.
Parties can change sometimes, you know. You have to keep up. Who freed the slaves? Republicans. Lincoln.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, the pivot. Okay. Who was corresponding with Abraham Lincoln? His name was Karl Marx. Okay? That's right. Karl Marx. That guy. The Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, was literally created to abolish chattel slavery in the South and wage slavery in the North. Are you really going to say that that is the current contemporary Republican Party? Are you fucking insane? The Republican Party was the closest to a proto-communist party that we ever had in this goddamn country, with the exception of, like, you know, Eugene Debs and some others.
Democrats were the racist party back then, but then JFK got elected and it switched.
Are you really going to say that that is the current contemporary Republican Party? Are you fucking insane? The Republican Party was the closest to a proto-communist party that we ever had in this goddamn country, with the exception of, like, you know, Eugene Debs and some others.
Democrats were the racist party back then, but then JFK got elected and it switched. The DSA itself has switched, even 5 years ago. It shunned communists. That's change.
Yeah, and now they're successful. So what does that say? Much to think about. Much to think about, Bilbo. So he's also not right about this regardless. But what he's actually pointing to, but not doing it correctly, is like that, yes, DSA at its inception was an expressly anti-communist institution. Okay? DSA was openly anti-communist. That's what it used to be. Except it was also fucking irrelevant until like 2016. Before 2016, in the Democratic Socialists of America, you would just see like a bunch of, 75-year-old Jewish guys for the most part. Some of which self-identified as socialists. Some of them were, it was just like, it was not a very effective institution. It was not a very effective organization. Things changed after Bernie Sanders in 2016, and then DSA saw a big push after the AOC race in 2018, and it's been growing ever since then. But DSA post-2016 is a very different Democratic Socialists of America than pre-2016. Another big changing point, another big turning point for the Democratic Socialists of America, in my opinion, was post-October 7. October 7 is where the Democratic Socialists of America shed the remaining non-anti-imperialist wing of the party. Okay? The first turning point was 2016. The second turning point, and there were, instances where there were big boosts in the membership, obviously, with electoral victories. AOC being, one of the major points for Democratic Socialists of America. But the second turning point, where Democratic Socialists of America shed their last remaining like pro-imperialist wing, was after October 7. Because after October 7, when DSA came out and were like, we're still pro-Palestine, we are not a pro-Israel institution at all, we are still very much pro-Palestine, we're still pro-BDS, boycott, divestments, and sanctions on the state of Israel, that was a bridge too far for some, and people left the organization. People who had been a part of the organization since it's like Harrington days even. Or like, we're done with this. Yeah, from the Wikipedia, the organization grew from 6,500 members in the fall of 2014 to 8,500 by election day 2016. The day after Trump's election, 1,000 new members joined. By July 2017, DSA's membership had reached 24,000. By the end of 2018, it was 55,000. And by 2021, it peaked at 94,000. And then it stopped. But then there was a bunch of people that left the organization post-October 7 because they thought this is too anti-Israel for my taste, too anti-Israel for my liking. And now it's well over 100,000. I believe the last number was like 100 and what is it, like 110, 120,000? I don't know the exact number. Those are all dues-paying members, by the way. It's huge. The Democratic Socialists of America is now the largest socialist organization in U.S. history, okay? For the last 13 years or so, I've been trying to feed new members to this organization to the best of my ability, year over year, and there were definitely periods of time when, it wasn't happening, and now we have arrived. But it took a long-ass time to get there. The idea that this is, I myself, of course, I'm independent. I'm an independent media figure, independent media personality. But this is the most politically important the Democratic Socialists of America has ever been. So why don't you go back to the old roots? Why don't you go back to being pro-American imperialism, for example? Why can't you? Why are you saying that you're in favor of seizing the means of production? What are you, some kind of fucking socialist? Yeah, unapologetically, yes. The fuck do you mean? Democratic Socialists of America are first and foremost socialist, okay? They're American and they're socialist. The idea that they're supposed to fit your neat little confines, your political ideology, your political framework, when your political framework has only brought about death and destruction to the periphery and abject poverty and destruction to the domestic home front, is ridiculous. It is supposed to be an alternative, charting a positive path forward for all Americans, not just the hand-selected pedophilic capital owners.
Now the coalition within the DSA, called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance, and I must take them at their word when their words include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism.
Yeah. Oh my God. A big tent political organization of socialists have communists that are fighting for a classless society? Oh!
What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists? Oh yeah, Sia Weaver did that.
Beast mode.
Yes.
Beast mode.
Good, I'm glad you're shocked. People gotta realize this is going on.
Beast mode. Wow. Guys, what the hell? What the hell, Bill Maher? Everything that you have revealed thus far has made me more scared by the moment. Every new statement you deliver, scarier than the last, Bill. I'm positively disturbed.
Yes, my vote is in play. I'm not voting for anyone who thinks the wrong side won the Cold War or cheers for the Intifada like it's the World Cup. It's so ironic from the people who obsess about colonization. You know what's being colonized now? The Democratic Party.
Classic reactionary thought, by the way. The Democrats are being colonized by what? Lifelong Democrats realizing that there is a socialist alternative that they subscribe to? Wow. How is it any different than when Republicans say, oh, the real colonialism, oh, you're talking about colonialism. The real colonialism is when Mexicans cross the border. That's not colonialism, you fucking jackass. It's called people changing their minds. I know that's a shocking revelation for your smug, entitled ass.
This month, Suits released an open pledge they wanted their fellow Democratic members to sign. It said, we are capitalist, not socialist. We want safety, not lawlessness. We are proud, not ashamed of America. These should not be hard words.
Yeah, sorry, big dog. The first line is ridiculous. The next two, that's fine. Okay? I hate this shit. I fucking hate when Democrats do this kind of like silly messaging, Bill. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. And they're like, oh, we're signing on a pro-capitalism bill. And Democrats have done it for years. I despise it. Okay? I despise it. It's so dumb. Especially because, guess what? Republicans are going to call you a communist anyway, you fucking dingus. They never stopped. And it's not like they stopped after you signed 700 other bills that are like, whoa, the Democratic Party are capitalist.
For a congressional Democrat to sign on to, you know how many did? 8. 8 out of 212. Guys, really, there's got to be an easier way to lose the swing states. No, this nonsense is not where most Democratic politicians are right now, but it's also becoming a raging fire festival in the party that neither is anyone putting out. People are actually getting elected now who literally don't think we should have police or prisons or borders. And again, they're not lying about who they are. The media is. Ask Ms. Chevalier about the border. She says, yes, literally abolish the border. You know, if you call a woman a whore and everyone gasps, and then the woman says, oh, no, he's right, I'm literally a prostitute.
He's such a piece of shit, dude. I mean, you're such a fucking disgusting... You're such a disgusting little gremlin, you old fuck. Also, like, being anti-sex work as Bill Maher is crazy, okay? There's no one in Hollywood that loves prostitutes more than fucking Bill Maher, so I don't know what the fuck he's going off about. Jesus Christ. So,
Believer, this crowd literally wants to get rid of our form of government, the Senate, but also, and I quote, replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress. Yeah, no biggie. Just taking the very essence of our government, which is 3 branches checking each other and shit-canning 2.5 of them. Who could be this nuts? I'll tell you who, morons who are still wearing COVID masks in 2026. This photo is from the DSA meeting in Denver 3 weeks ago. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Since the far left, the far, far left, is overwhelmingly made up of affluent, ultra-woke white people, you raised your kids, you told your precious brats that every brain fart was genius, and now those brain farts are becoming Democratic Party policy. Francesca Hong, yet another major Democratic candidate who's all in on abolishing the police, and is running for governor of Wisconsin, says, I think that my perfect world would be a world without prisons, because we all see the humanity in one another, and then we know nobody's disposable. Well, murder victims are. I mean, if you heard this kind of nonsense coming out of the...
bro, you can't even say you want a perfect world where prisons are obsolete without motherfuckers being like, oh, you just want to let rapists get away with rape and murderers to get away with murder. Like, we can't even say, hey, man, a better future is possible without some fucking cynical, nihilistic douchebag being like, fuck you! It's not possible. Words used to mean something. We're no longer communicating with one another, man. We're no longer communicating with one another. We're just... Bro, you can't even say you want a perfect world where prisons are obsolete without motherfuckers being like, oh, you just want to let rapists get away with rape and murderers to get away with murder. Like, we can't even say, hey, man, a better future is possible without some fucking cynical, nihilistic douchebag being like, fuck you! It's not possible. Words used to mean something. We're no longer communicating with one another, man. We're no longer communicating with one another. We're just posturing angrily towards ideological planks that we choose not to understand. It's so fucking annoying. You literally cannot even say, look, man, I think in a perfect world, like, imagine if someone were to be like, look, I think in a perfect world, there would be no need for money. Okay? And then someone goes, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. Fuck you, kill yourself. You're a fucking piece of shit. It's like, why? Why can't I even say that this is like a pie in the sky goal that we could move towards where there's no inequality? You know? Why can't I say that? Why can't I say that? I want it. I want it for others. Why? Do you have an issue with that? At its heart, America was about dreaming big. This was a country that put a man on the moon. This is a country that strived to be better and oftentimes failed to do so. But at least we dreamt. Nowadays, motherfuckers yell at you for dreaming. Nowadays, motherfuckers say a better future is not possible. That's my policy. It is so crazy, man. It's so crazy. You can't even say, I have a dream for a more positive future without people making commentary around how fucking bullshit that is. What the fuck?
Mouth of a teenage beauty queen, it would be an eye roll. No wonder that the most true blue Democrat ever, James Carville, says, there's just some shit I can't be in the same tent. Yeah, Carville said, I'm done. I'm not in that fucking political party. Now, Gavin Newsom disagrees. He says he's good with it because the party is a big tent. Well, you know what else you find in a tent? Clowns.
Yeah, well, when you leave, there will be one less fucking clown.
It's so funny. So many liberals shit themselves every time.
Look, man, it's pretty simple. If you suck JD Vance's cock, if you go and have fucking dinner with Donald Trump, okay, and you normalize their behavior and their fucking odious worldview while simultaneously opposing anything marginally to your left or majorly to your left, you're not a fucking Democrat, okay? Which is fine. It's fine. But you're no longer a liberal either. You know what I mean? You're not an anti-fascist. You're a fascist. They were nice to you, partially because you're cheap. One meal and a smile, and you're there. After years and years of channeling all of your advocacy around Donald Trump and Donald Trump only, you've decided you're gonna lean in that direction now. It's fine. We knew it was coming. I welcome it personally. Let the trash take itself out.
Trump puts gold on something in the Oval Office. Oh, it's historic. And the separation of powers isn't? Get your head out of your ass. I would vote for Sarah Palin before this shit.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We know, man. Yeah, we know. I don't know why this is like, it's really funny that this is like presented as a fresh take. You know what I mean? Wow. Unbelievable. Who would do such a thing? Wow. Shocking. We know, man. We fucking know.
She's a bimbo, but if you asked her to come up with something she likes about America, she could do it. You betcha. Thank you very much.
I think this is a good thing and not a bad thing, because there's going to come a time and place where people are going to either shelter their perspective, but choose a side. And I would rather have the likes of Bill Maher, especially such gross, such repulsive, arrogant monsters like Bill, openly state which side they are on. Okay? It's that simple. Bill Maher is far more comfortable with fascism at a time when fascism is growing, at a time when fascism, in much more meaningful ways than ever before. No longer are they crypto-fascists, but they're just straightforward fascists, right? That's what Trump 2 has brought us. Bill Maher leaning in that direction is unsurprising.